Okay, ladies and gentlemen, having done my investigation, I have come to the understanding that what is giving the Integrity Commission is Andrew's wealth. Because, ladies and gentlemen, Andrew Holness came in with a little, and then over a period of time, not a very long period of time, he suddenly become wealthy. So they are wondering what is the source of his income. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it have not been proven that he took any money from the public purse. Now, that would be a big problem, and that would be corruption, and he wouldn't fit for office if he was involved in that type of corruption. But it has not been proven, ladies and gentlemen, that his money comes from the public purse, meaning that it is not taxpayers' money. And if it is not money laundering, and if it is not taxpayers' money, then, ladies and gentlemen, there should not be a problem. But what they don't understand, ladies and gentlemen, is the power of investment. And many of them say that they are bright and that they are brilliant when it comes to accounts. Yet they don't understand that the stock market, ladies and gentlemen, is high risk, high reward thing. So when you invest heavily on the stock market, you will get rich in a very short period of time if you invest wisely. If you know when to invest and if you know when to sell, you will get rich very quickly. And most of Andrew's Holness wealth comes from investing on the capital market, the US dollar market, stock market, ladies and gentlemen. That's where most of his wealth comes. So he works for money and then put the money to work for them. And that is what is giving them problem. Because they are wondering, oh, a little poor person who used to sell in our Spanish Town market becomes so rich in such a short period of time. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, from the fact that he didn't steal anybody's money, from the fact that he didn't embezzle taxpayers' money, his source of wealth, ladies and gentlemen, having made clear because he told us that it is on the stock market he invested. Ladies and gentlemen, so what is preventing them from certifying? And you know, Dayton Campbell and Mark Golden is becoming very annoying to the point where they are upsetting people every time they talk. And they keep saying that the Prime Minister who have these things hanging over his head is unfit to be Prime Minister. So, ladies and gentlemen, if the Prime Minister of Jamaica, who is growing the economy and who they cannot prove anything wrong, that is involved in any wrongdoing, and it have not been proven that he is stealing the public funds, or that he is involved in money laundering or any form of illicit activity. They say that he is involved, that is being investigated for illicit enrichment, meaning that they don't know how he get rich. Ladies and gentlemen, many persons, the word illicit is what is giving them problem. It means unknown riches. Is just a word that mean unknown riches. They don't know how he come by this money. Just like when he was building his house, they don't know how he come by his house. And many people have the audacity to be saying he stole it. So because you don't know how the man get his money, he stole it. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you that the Integrity Commission and all these people, Mark Golden, they are on a political witch hunt against the Prime Minister, because they know, ladies and gentlemen, that the Prime Minister is going to get his third term, whether they like it or not. Another thing you need to understand, ladies and gentlemen, when Andrew was building his house, they were wondering where he got the money to build his house. Now Andrew Holness has invested his money and have become rich. They are wondering how did he become rich so quickly. Ladies and gentlemen, like I said before, the stock market is a high risk, high reward thing. And when you invest and when you know how to sell at the right time, when you get people to manage your money properly, ladies and gentlemen, you will get money very fast. You will get money very quickly, because On the stock market, you have to know when to buy, when to sell, ladies and gentlemen. And if you invest in the right thing, you invest in things that give high yield, ladies and gentlemen, like oil, like Facebook, like all those things on the capital market that are high valued products. He invested in these things when they were valued very little. And now look at Facebook value over how many $1 trillion. Look at Google, how many $1 trillion. Look at all these, look at oil, look at gold. These are the things that the Prime Minister would have invested in on the stock market. You guys need to do your research and stop coming in the public spreading lies and propaganda. And Dayton Campbell and Mark Golding is so annoying, ladies and gentlemen, that they keep upsetting us every time that they talk. Because, ladies and gentlemen, they are praying for the Prime Minister to step aside so that they won't have anybody to contest them. They won't have any strong opposition to contest them, because if Prime Minister Holness step aside now, who would be challenging him? The Prime Minister is doing a very good job. The people know the Prime Minister. The people bond with the Prime Minister, ladies and gentlemen. And ladies and gentlemen, from he is not taking my money, from he is not taking your money, then leave the man and his wealth alone. Just like we used to tell Peter Phillips, leave the man and his house alone. I am telling the Integrity Commission, leave the man and his money alone. Once it is not illegal, once the man worked hard for his money, and the man put his money to good use, and the man did not steal anything from anybody, you have no right not to certify his statutory declaration. You are just being on a political witch hunt against the man. The FID investigating, they send it to the International Forensic Audit in Trinidad. They didn't find anything. Now they are saying FID is investigating. What is there for the FID to investigate when there is nothing to investigate? From Andrew Holness is in power, they are investigating him till this very day, and they can't come up with something. If he was involved in any form of wrongdoing, wouldn't they have come up with something by now? Why can't they come up with something by now? What they are trying to do, because, ladies and gentlemen, the man is trying to steer the poor people out of poverty, just like this tribune. They call them tribune. In the Roman government, they used to call a certain high-ranking soldier tribune. And there was this tribune, ladies and gentlemen, that was for the people. And the Senate never liked it. So you know what they did? They rise up, they form a conspiracy against him, and they unalived him. The same way they are ganging up against the Prime Minister in order to destroy him. Because if they destroy him, ladies and gentlemen, then we, the poor of Jamaica, the poor people of Jamaica, not saying that I am poor, but the poor people of Jamaica won't have anybody steering them out of poverty, because Mark Golding have made it clear that he planned to tax us. We heard it in his political political speeches, in his campaign speeches. Also, ladies and gentlemen, the man want to build housing swamp, give people to live in. Not only that, the man have been there. It has been over 40 odd years since the political parties have formed, and out of the 40 odd years, the People's National Party have been there for 30 odd out of the 40 odd years. Ladies and gentlemen, for 32 years out of the 44 years. That means the Jamaica Labour Party spent less time in office than the People's National Party. If they had wanted to make the impeachment law, wouldn't they have made it during those times? Why all of a sudden Mark Golding is campaigning that if he forms the next government, he's gonna bring the impeachment law into reality? Why didn't they do it during their 30 odd years in office? Desperation, ladies and gentlemen. And they are on a quest to destroy Andrew. We need to pray for him. Pray for him.